Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to the vlog for today, Friday the 24th of April. Hope everybody is good. Couple of things before I get on to today. I'm just going to elaborate on my topics from the last few days and the CX and the algorithm. Totally coincidentally, one of the Facebook forums, this was brought up about not seeing jobs, and it provoked a little bit of a discussion. The upshot, I won't go into glorious detail of everyone's comments, but the upshot is that there's a few people that do think that the longer you've been on the CX app, the less work you see. Now, I would almost find this incredible and unbelievable, but it is a theory that's come to my own mind. The other thing that's came about, a couple of people who lived in the same area had sat side by side, sort of checking that they were all getting the same jobs coming through, and they weren't, which is interesting. I do know from my own experience in the past that I have seen jobs come through on the desktop version that didn't appear on the mobile version, but that was when I was at home one day just looking for work. Normally I'm out in the van and I'm using the mobile app, so that's a sort of rare one. One thing that also did come up, that you do need to use the search feature as well as scrolling the general feed. If you press home, you have that little search button, and you can put in a location. It's very, very good for giving you an idea if there's any work in an area you're going to. So for example, I went to Hereford, I had it put on Hereford to see if there's anything come up in the afternoon that was coming back east, in which case I would have jumped all over it. But when I am looking, I will use that feature as well, and again I have seen jobs on the search feature that I haven't seen on the general feed. I have no idea why that is. It might be something that I can ask CX, or somebody may have the answer to in due course, but yeah, just to follow up really from those conversations this week. The other thing I wanted to touch on was the old perennial of your own customers. We know that having your own customer will earn you more money than just working off the CX. We know that, that's an established fact. But I had it last week. I did a pickup in Braintree last week, and when the details of the job came through, the customer I was collecting from, I'd been there many times, but this was the third different shipper that I had collected there for. And it happened again today. I did a pickup in Colchester, and it came through and it's got on there, new customer, give it your best service, please say you're from X when you turn up at the collection. And again, this is the third different shipper I've collected from. So I don't know why these customers, when they dish work out to couriers, are changing. It might be price, it may well probably more service. Could be a variety of other reasons as well, perhaps, you know, anyway, it could be some other things. But it's the old adage, it's easier, I think, to get yourself an own customer than it is to try and keep it. I'm sure you guys and girls that have your own customers know full well that big shippers and small shippers, they're getting in contact with your customer all the time and trying to steal your work. And it's a real pain if you're trying to plan for the future and thinking about changing a van or upgrading a van. You might want to think of going from a small van to a large van because of the amount of work that your shipper is giving you, or your customer is giving you or intends to give you. And of course you make an investment, and then before you know it, that customer's shown no loyalty and moved elsewhere. So just wanted to touch on that. But anyway, on to today. Yeah, yesterday was rubbish, so I started looking yesterday afternoon and got a job from Colchester, as I've mentioned, going to Redhill in Surrey. Not my perfect area, but it was a customer that I'd worked before. It was a long wheelbase job, 89 miles. I put a price of £120 on it, which I thought was going to be a decent price for a first job of the day. It's literally 20 minutes from where I live. Wife's been working from home most of this week because of the rail strikes and getting to her work, so that was fine for me. It was an 8 o'clock collection, got on site for 7:45. They do open at 7:30, but they quite often finish loading their own vehicles. But I got there at 7:45. The yard was empty bar one who was just about to leave. I was off site at 8 o'clock, that was perfect. Straightforward run, no issues at all with the M25. Got to Red Hill for 9:50. It was a building site, but only a small one, and the stuff was off within 10 minutes. I'm away at 10 o'clock. Parked up round the corner. There was a nice B&Q in Halfords, plenty of parking. Went and got myself a coffee from the garage next door. Started looking for work. I wasn't expecting much that area, and I wasn't going to give it a long time. There was a couple of jobs in Crawley going to Feltham and Hounslow for the Heathrow Airport shippers. Did put a couple of prices on, kept them reasonable. I wouldn't say low, I wouldn't say expensive, but I didn't get that job. But I did get a job half an hour later at 10:30, and that was from Crawley going to Enfield. It was a shipper. I've done 2 jobs from in the past, both from Crawley, and they were both from the same shipper, so I was fairly confident I knew what this job was going to be. It was for a small wheelbase van, 66 miles, put a price of £60 on. They do pay within 14 days. They have always paid bang on time, if not early. It's a nice easy load to pick up, and I thought, yeah, I'll go with 60. Gets me out of the area, gets me into Enfield, which is a slightly better area to look for work, and it's also, if worst comes to the worst, sort of on my way home. So got round there. I was 25 minutes away, but the customer was absolutely fine with that. Got there just before 11, off site 10 past 11. A few delays coming round. Dartford Tunnel was its normal obligatory Friday queue, so I lost about 20 minutes or so there. And I think there'd been an accident on the M25 at junction 28. There was a small delay there, but we got back going again. Got to Enfield for 12:40, off site 12:50. Parked up, just went round the corner, down the road, round the corner. Got some lunch, which I didn't have with me today. Started looking again at about 1:45, and I've got to be honest, I felt like I've hit a wall. I've had quite a busy week in the van and outside of the van. I didn't have a great night's sleep last night. I normally sleep like an absolute log, much to the hatred of my wife, but a bit tossy-turny last night, and it didn't help by the dog waking up at about 3:30, wanting to go outside for a wee. So yeah, I think I've just hit a wall. So I decided I'm going to start making my way home. If I get a job, a little job on the way home somewhere, there's quite often a job comes out of Harlow going to Frinton. It's quite a regular job, but I'm probably just a little bit too early for it. Now I've gone past Harlow, I'll guarantee that job will appear. Yeah, if there's anything in Braintree going into Colchester, or anything around Colchester going to Clacton, I might throw that on board just to finish the day off. But it's going to be 2 jobs, 120 and 60, 180. So I'm fine with that, it's in my target. So again, it looks like it's going to be sort of 4 average days and 1 bad day this week, but yeah, there we go. So that's about it. I'll say I'm going to make my way home. If nothing happens, I'm going to be home for about 3:30. The weather's still nice, it's saying 19-20 degrees, so I can go and sit myself in the garden and a cup of tea and relax. At my age, I think I need to prioritise that rather than trying to stick another job on, which will probably go to well, probably all go wrong anyway. Anyway, I hope you had a good day. I hope you have a lovely weekend, whatever you're doing. As for Monday, I've got a doctor's appointment first thing on Monday morning at 8:45, so it will be a bit later start, so I haven't got to worry about looking for a job this afternoon. I guess I will work Monday, that is the plan. Once I've been to the doctor's, I've got to fast before a blood test, go and grab some breakfast over the cafe and start looking at about 9:15, see if we can find some work. If there isn't much about and I get to sort of 11 o'clock and I'm still at home in Brightlingsea, I'll probably just, you know, call it a day off and not do anything. But we'll see how it goes anyway. We'll keep it open. We'll play that by ear on Monday. Have a lovely weekend. We'll talk then. All the best now. Cheers, Paul.